kingdom, where rivers whispered secrets to the trees and the sun painted the land in gold, there lived a humble farmer named Obasi. Unlike the warriors with their mighty spears or the traders with their riches, Obasi had no wealth, no weapons, and no title of honor. Yet he was known for something far greater: his wisdom, his patience, and his kindness. One day, the great King Ez-Adisa made an announcement that shook the kingdom. He sought a new chief advisor, not one of brute strength or great wealth, but one whose spirit was strong. The news spread like wildfire, and soon the bravest, strongest, and wisest men and women gathered in the palace courtyard, ready to prove themselves. The palace courtyard was alive with voices as warriors, traders, and elders stood before the mighty King Ez-Adisa. The king, dressed in robes of red and gold, sat high upon his throne, his eyes scanning the crowd. The one who proves the greatest wisdom and strength, not of body but of spirit, shall sit beside me in council, the king declared. His voice carried across the courtyard, filling the hearts of many with hope and determination. 3 tests would decide the victor, and the first would begin immediately. The first test was a test of strength, but not in the way many believed. In the center of the courtyard lay a great stone, dark and rough, too heavy for any ordinary man to carry. One by one, the strongest warriors stepped forward. First came Jabari, his muscles rippling as he wrapped his arms around the stone. His face twisted with effort, veins rising on his forehead, but the stone would not budge. Next came Ekene, the fiercest warrior woman in the kingdom, her hands gripping the rock as she strained with all her might. But she too failed. As each contender struggled and failed, the people whispered among themselves. Then Obasi stepped forward, but he did not touch the stone. He only watched, his eyes calm, his mind turning like the river's steady flow. The king noticed and said nothing. The second test was about to begin. The next test was one of temptation. The contenders were led to a garden, lush and green, where mangoes, bananas, and papayas hung heavy from their branches. Their scent filled the air, sweet and inviting. But at the garden's entrance stood a wooden sign, its message written in bold red letters: "Eat, and you shall suffer." Jabari, still angry from his earlier failure, scoffed at the warning. "What harm could fruit bring?" he said, plucking a ripe mango and biting into it. Soon others followed, laughing as they ate. But moments later, groans filled the air. Jabari clutched his stomach, his face contorted in pain. The others fell to their knees, regret on their faces. Obasi, however, had simply walked past the garden. He had read the sign and believed the king's words. He had no need to test the truth for himself. The king nodded approvingly. The final test was now upon them. The remaining contenders gathered once more before the king. Warriors, traders, and elders stood in anticipation. King Ez-Adisa leaned forward, his voice deep and powerful as he spoke his final challenge. "Tell me, what is the greatest strength a leader can possess?" Jabari, still determined to prove himself, stepped forward. "Power in battle. A leader must be strong enough to crush his enemies." Ekene, rubbing her aching stomach, said, "Wealth and riches. A leader must be rich enough to provide for the people." The elders, wise and experienced, nodded and said, "Knowledge of history. A leader must learn from the past to rule wisely." Then came Obasi. He stepped forward, his voice steady but humble. A leader's greatest strength is wisdom, to know when to act, patience, to wait for the right moment, and kindness, to guide those in need. The crowd fell silent. The king's eyes twinkled, for he had found the one who understood true strength. King Ez-Adisa stood, his regal robes flowing as he approached Obasi. In his hands he held a beaded necklace, a symbol of honor and wisdom. Gently he placed it around Obasi's neck. Obasi, though you did not lift the stone, you carried the weight of wisdom. You did not eat the fruit, for you respected my word, and you have spoken truth. True strength is found in wisdom, patience, and kindness. You shall be my chief advisor. The people erupted in cheers. Even Jabari and Akane bowed their heads in respect. As the sun set, painting the sky in hues of orange and gold, Obasi took his place beside the king, ready to serve his people with wisdom and humility.